British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Welcome back to BCIT News. Once again, I am Riley Cunningham, and here are your 11:30 news headlines. If you see the sea filled with first responders today, don't be worried. The RCMP is letting the public know that a multi-agency training exercise will be taking place at Sea Island in Richmond today. Uniformed officers from the Tactical Support Group, Canadian Coast Guard, Vancouver Police Department Marine Unit, and RCMP's West Coast Marine Services will be engaging in training sessions. You can expect a large officer presence near Jericho Beach, English Bay, and Kitsilano throughout the day. The Mounties say the training is taking place to maintain their skills and readiness response to various scenarios on land and on water. An unpredicted collaboration has come up for an Italian cuisine restaurant in Vancouver with a globally known chip company, Miss Vicky's. Reporter Bahar Garian has more on the mouth-watering news.
All new for a restaurant in Canada, Ask for Luigi's has just introduced its new menu item, a potato chip. The Italian restaurant, known for its vodka pastas and Alfredos, has just announced its collaboration with Miss Vicky's to create a new kind of chip, cacio e pepe flavored. Miss Vicky's has gone on to collaborate with two other Italian-inspired restaurants in Canada. One is in Montreal and the other is in Toronto. They have created different potato chip flavors inspired by the pastas served at the restaurants. This is Bahar Garian, BCIT News.
Ask for Luigi is a restaurant by the group Kitchen Table, who also boast other Michelin-recommended local restaurants, Baccaro and Carlino. The ongoing BCGEU strike has BC wine country feeling the squeeze. Our reporter Braden Goodman has more on the story.
Local vineyards depend on the BC liquor distribution brands to get their wines into restaurants and retail stores. But with that critical supply chain link disrupted, business is beginning to slow. Now entering its 7th week with no resolution in sight, the ongoing strike is forcing wineries to get creative to stay afloat. Some are pivoting to direct-to-consumer sales and local deliveries, but many face capacity constraints, making it difficult to scale these alternatives quickly. Meanwhile, the financial impact of losing access to established distribution networks is both immediate and severe. Braden Goodman, BCIT News.
With the cold snap last year that decimated up to 95% of BC's grapes, the wine industry continues to face ongoing struggles. In Alberta, a Calgary man is facing 5 counts of attempted murder after allegedly striking several pedestrians in a parking lot on Friday. 3 people were seriously injured, including 2 victims in their 70s, and 2 others were narrowly missed. The 47-year-old suspect also faces other charges, including assault with a weapon and dangerous driving. Further east, an explosion at a construction site in North York this morning has sent 7 people to hospital. Toronto Division Fire Commander Paul O'Brien says fire crews responded to a call at 9:15 this morning about a gas explosion and found several people with signs of burns on arrival. O'Brien says explosions like this are rare in Toronto. Centerville Construction Corp., the company performing the construction, said they will conduct a full investigation and will share more information when it becomes available. Federal Housing Minister Gregor Robertson wouldn't commit today to a Liberal election campaign promise to push cities to cut the fees that help fund local infrastructure. Robertson said Ottawa was initially looking at a 50% reduction in development charges, but was unable to say whether the federal government would meet that promise and suggested more details will come ahead of the November 4th budget. Summer drought could be the culprit for less vibrant leaves in the east this autumn. If you're looking to take in some foliage festivities this fall, sooner than later might be better. Typically, as the days shorten and temperatures drop, chlorophyll breaks down in leaves and turns them to the traditional fall colors, yellow, orange, and red. Dry summer conditions cause the leaves to brown and fall more quickly. I have been Riley Cunningham, and you have been listening to BCIT News. Catch the next headlines with Joe McHugh at 12:30.
Stay tuned for more on This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
Burgers and belonging. How Langley's Burger Fest brings cultures to the same table. We're your hosts, Braden Goodman
and Aiden Singh.
This is Langley Burger Fest.
I'm Taylor. I'm a sous chef for Trading Post Brewing.
I'm Huron Pereira. I'm the executive chef here at the Barley Merchant.
My name is Donovan. Donovan Dick, chef and co-owner of Omni-Lang.
I really think that this is a good way for other smaller businesses because when you're competing, you want to put your best foot forward, obviously, and I think it's a great way to grow a market for the smaller businesses.
Bringing the community together is always good. When it comes to getting together, eating is the easiest way to get everybody.
To get all the independently operated restaurants to collaborate to bring people out to Langley and just showcase all the awesome independent owners out there, right?
Like, everybody wants to go around to all the other small businesses and try what they've created, and in a way it just really helps grow the small business aspect.
Everybody kind of on the same page and collaboratively work together. So, because with the Burger Month, the goal is to try to get everybody out to each of those locations, right? We live in, a part of BC that is honestly overwhelmed with chains. Like, they dominate the market, right? They have better buying power. Like, they're able to do things on a different scale than we are. And we really need to highlight all the cool independent restaurants out there and tell their story.
So, the growth of Langley, Fort Langley in general, it's been awesome. It's been great, if I'm being completely honest. It is very exciting to see, and I think it's just getting better.
By the end of this podcast, we'll go in between the buns and show you the big bite of what's happening out in Langley. Once thought as just another stop along the number 1 highway, how it's turning itself into a culinary destination where culture and food collide. So Aiden and I had the pleasure of sampling some of Langley's finest culinary burger experiences. But throughout this, we found the same kind of theme of how culture and food really bring people together. So Aiden, what did you learn about this whole experience?
Well, in terms of culture and food bringing people together, I learned that, obviously, I remember when I was younger and I was in the kitchen watching my parents cook, sure, but there's a different sort of passion in these kitchens where they're blending together different aspects of culture with maybe things that they're not so familiar with. I've learned that Langley's scene is actually exploding, and that this city that used to just be a stop along the way, something you'd pass through and think nothing more, is building something, is becoming something real, something very beautiful in front of me.
Food is one of those earliest memories. It's something that we can all relate to. And Langley is such a uniquely located area where it's farm to table. It's got some of the best suppliers of local cuisine right there in its own backyard.
Braden, I think over the last week we've seen and we've done a lot. We've heard a lot of voices, but you're from this area. This means something real to you. This is in your backyard.
Born and bred.
So I want to ask you, what does this mean to Langley?
It's putting us on the map. When I grew up, it was a lot of chain restaurants, White Spot, The K, Old Spaghetti Factory. That was kind of where we got together as a family. We'd go out, birthday dinners, celebrate time with family. Aiden, culture and food, they almost go hand in hand, because at the end of the day, food, it's such a human experience. It's one of our earliest memories. That's a theme that we kept coming back to in our journey of how food really brings people together.
If you think of probably any happy time in your life, you were probably around a table with a bunch of food, right? So food brings people together. It's the most honest and true form of, you don't even have to think about it. You put food in front of people, or put food on a table, and people are going to sit down together, regardless if they know each other or not, right? So it's down to our basics of human nature. Of that's how you bring people together, it's through food. And you can tell a story, whether it be, your own cooking, your grandma's cooking, something that you had while you were on a trip, whatever. You're always going to tell a story through the food that you're sitting down with, right? And then you're probably going to remember that down the road.
Food is something that brings people together. And Donovan Dick, head chef at Omni, said it best: breaking bread.
To break bread with people, you know what I mean? That's as old as time. Is the, if you ever think of any type of any story or anything where you have, whether it's a friend or you're meeting somebody new, offering them something to eat or eating with them, breaking bread with them, that's not only signifying like a handshake or a hug, it's also a let's all settle down here. Let's just enjoy ourselves. Let's have something. Are we hungry? Right? It is that way that you can reach out and just say, hey, before we get into anything else, let's make sure we're fed.
What does that mean to you, Aiden?
It means a lot because my family, we care a lot about our social gatherings. We're not able to get out nearly as much as we should, but when we do, there's something going on. There's something happening. And I've always felt right at home there, of course, but when we're having our extended families, come over, and someone brings over a new fiance, a girlfriend, we're introducing someone into the family. They don't speak the language, mind you, and they don't look like we do. And I guarantee you they're not used to the flavor. But they're still eating it, and there's still a smile on their face. We're still laughing and joking. And so it can show you how food can normalize these differences, how everyone looks the same when they're eating, right?
I mean, hey, we can all agree, food really is the universal language. One thing that really stood out to me was the Barley Merchant, of how they utilized their staff's, ethnic background. They've got a lot of Korean influence in that kitchen. And how Haran Pereira, how he was able to kind of tap into that and create that kimchi burger that we were very, very humble to get a sample of.
So impressed by it. That was beautiful.
How incredible was it to infuse that bun with kimchi?
Yeah, pulling inspiration like that from your staff is just magical.
And the elevation of the in-house black garlic really brought that mayo to the next level.
We've done a lot of Korean dishes in the past because I've got some great Korean staff that knows how to pay true homage to their culture, and we try to get them involved in those flavors. So I try to get them to make different things, and I was like, that sauce that you did last time, that was amazing. Why don't we try this on? So we make a kimchi bun, so we actually make our own brioche buns with kimchi in it, so you have like a slightly spicy bun. And then we do sweet pickled daikon on the bottom. We have black garlic mayo, so we make our own black garlic in-house, so that's kind of like very umami, kind of like next level up on a garlic mayo. We do pork belly on our flat top and glaze it with a gochujang sauce, so that's kind of like the sweet, smoky, and then we do some salted cucumber on top with more of the gochujang sauce, so it's like super vibrant in flavor, a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of smoky. It's like Korean barbecue in a burger. The amazing thing about Canada as a culture is we're a melting pot of lots of different cultures, right? So embrace all the cultures that we have here and tell their story. It's the standard, bacon cheeseburger, which is great. Like, no one's gonna go anything wrong with the bacon cheeseburger, but let's do a spin on that, right? So the story that we're saying is you can do something familiar while utilizing the flavors and vibrancy of different cultures, and we're leaning in on the Korean because we've got some amazing Korean staff here.
Food to me is more than flavor. It's connection. It's how we say welcome, how we share a piece of who we are. Every meal tells a story of family, of struggle, of love passed down through recipes. When we sit together and break bread, it reminds us that no matter where we come from, we all speak the same language, the language of good food and good company. Every town's got its food festival. Tacos, beer, barbecue. But out here in Langley, it's burgers. Simple, greasy, familiar. But Burger Month isn't really about what's on the bun. It's about who's around the table. Because a burger's the great equalizer. You can be a farmer or a filmmaker, a newcomer or a fourth-generation local. And when you're holding a burger, you're the same kind of hungry. Langley's Burger Month turns that hunger into connection. Every patty tells a story of fusion, heritage, of risks taken. Korean barbecue meets BC beef. Punjabi spice meets that Langley simplicity. It's not just food, it's a language of belonging. This month, burgers become symbols of creativity, of community, of cultures that don't just live side by side. They blend, sizzle together, and feed something deeper. So yeah, it's Burger Month, but maybe it's also a reminder that food isn't just what we eat. It's how we share where we come from and taste where we're going. In Langley, a burger isn't just a meal, it's a meeting point and a catalyst that brings a town together. There's something special about the way culture finds its way into food. You don't always notice it at first, but it's there, in the spice, the sauce, the soul of the dish. At the Barley Merchant, they've done something beautiful. They've taken the classic North American burger and given it a Korean heartbeat. It's smoky, sweet, and a little spicy. But what makes it special isn't just how it tastes, it's why it exists. Food like this tells a story of people who come here. They bring their recipes, their memories, their tradition, their culture, and they blend them with what they found in a new place. That's culture in motion. That's what makes a burger more than just meat and bread. This Korean-inspired burger isn't just fusion, it's conversation. It's the old world meeting the new, the familiar mixing with the unexpected. Every bite carries a little bit of Langley, a bit of soul, and a whole lot of creativity. Food reminds us that culture doesn't stay still. It travels, it evolves. And when it lands in the right hands, it becomes something worth celebrating. Because when you taste something new, you're not just trying a recipe. You're tasting a story and the people who brought it to life. Well, there it is, folks. At the end of the day, Langley is so much more than just another stop on the #1 road.
It is that mix of destination town, but also these kind of older families who have been here forever, but it's not commercialized at all, and I just feel great about where it is versus where it was. And not that it was bad by any stretch of the imagination, it's just, as somebody who likes to eat, somebody who likes to go out to different places, now people will come out and see me, and they'll be like, oh yeah, come out to see your restaurant. And they're like, I didn't realize there was all this other stuff out here.
It's a budding culinary and cultural hub that's ready to throw its weight around and be around for years to come.
As much as we just want to win the competition, we want to showcase everybody else as well, because that means more people coming out to this area, right? And we don't want to just hit the people that already live in Langley. We want to get the people that don't live in Langley to come out here and try it, all those different places.
Our staffing reflects that as well. We have a multicultural and diverse staff that we're really proud of, and again, we're not trying to be fit in one mold, one corner. We are trying to, like Langley, we are expanding. There is that multicultural group, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
That'll do it for Burgers and Belonging, a story of how Langley's Burger Fest brings cultures to the same table. We're your hosts, Braden Goodman.
And I'm Aiden Singh.
Thank you for listening.
If you'd like to read more, please link back to our article on bcitnews.com.
The Oxford Dictionary defines a hamburger as a round patty of ground beef, fried or grilled, and typically served on a bun or roll and garnished with various condiments. But Langley's making it something so much more. Stay hungry, listeners.